go edit. Oh, I wonder if I can edit this live. This isn't the 9th. February. Hello, hello. What's up, people? Let me change this title really quick. I was a little gung-ho on Push and Go Live 23rd. Let me turn down that just a little. How are people doing? Happy Friday! Live show, February 23rd. Next Friday, it'll be March. What the heck? Our 5th show. Tee-hee-hee. There we go. Visibility public. We are education, news and politics. We'll keep that one for now. Nonprofits and activism. We'll do that one. And then we go here. And we go here. And we're looking good. Yep. All right, tuning in. Welcome to our Policy Angles live show. My name's Braden Miguel. I am the host and founder of Community Driven. Community Driven or CommunityDrivenGroup.com is a positive impact social enterprise or company that's working to build products and media and more to have a positive impact on the structure and systems and policies that impact our everyday life. Working to crack through and break down barriers for the everyday person to getting involved, understanding how the system works, and so happy to be sharing my time and passion with you all. Happy Friday. How are y'all doing? I've been doing well. This is something I sometimes bring to actions, and I say it's my son, or my non-binary child, since, I mean, who's to say? So that is my addition to crying child, is my addition to my set today. Hopefully that doesn't throw off too many people on the VOD. Let me try to where can I sit or be where I'm not like in my own way? I need to go this way. How do I do this? Da, 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 da. Like that? Okay. Yeah. This song's going hard. Okay. Let's put on something smooth. Welcome. We have a little bit of a structure for today. But first, what is more of a mellow jam to put on? I should also do an audio test before we get in too far. Where did my headphones go? I don't... Oh, there. So, I think I have a good sense of where audio levels are, but it's sometimes hard to tell. I can turn this off for a sec too. Hi! I think I messed with my, there. Spread love, not CO2. Some of these things will become pertinent here in a moment. We did a poll. It wasn't a very much used poll because still building my YouTube channel and working to get people to participate. I also could have done more posting to highlight it, but took off last week and decided to, for this week, do a poll to help us decide where we put attention when it comes to looking at policies. And I feel like the more functions and process we can have around how the everyday person can lift up what to talk about, the better off we will be. So let's go like this, and let's tune in. Hello, hello. Da, 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 da. There I am. And then here we go. Be speaking. Braden speaking. Braden speaking. Braden? Braden speaking. Okay. That's a good balance, I think. Oh. Sometimes it's tricky because the volume on the music's too loud, or it's like, I mean, too loud's the worst because then it's hard to understand what you're saying and get that audio. But then if it's also, the music's like too low, then it's almost like you need to lower it even more and then bring in different music because it's like hardly there. I don't know. Editing things that go through my head. Here we are. Throw this back up. And then we'll bring you down just a smidge. Cool, cool. Do some yoga after this. Yeah. Life updates. I guess we'll start there, as people might roll in, or just to get us warmed up. Talking about what's been happening in my world. I took a last Friday off to play catch up. And I'm just gonna pause this for the moment. I have like a slight headache, so bear with me as I calm it down. Last week, took Friday off. I made a post. I had Friday off from my day job and wanted to kind of take some time, and 3 weeks ago I got sick, and then it affected my sinuses till this week. Really, I wasn't sleeping 100%. I was waking up in the night like thirsty because my like sinuses were blocked at least half my side, but some nights both. And started trying to take medicine to clear it. And then, so haven't been 100%. That started to clear up this week as I took some different medicine that helped start clearing it up, and I think it's getting better much faster. Didn't sleep long last night, but slept well. And yeah, what else? So I took some of that time Friday. I also had Monday off from the day job. Uh, I ended up going to an event and helping host an event that was Monday. But really took the weekend to organize and catalog the videos I already have made. Or at least the segments that from my live streams I could turn into videos for my different channels of shorts and reels and medium form videos that are 5 to 12 minutes long. Been editing down to try to, unless it's really needing that longer in-depth look, just make it more palatable and easy to engage with as people try to learn my voice, understand my voice, and the unique value that can come with breaking down the barriers and creating different forms of education and advocacy through bringing people together. So organized that list, started working on some the video clips, got some new ones out this week, highlighting a film festival, highlighting a universal healthcare bill, and so if you're not already, take a look at our YouTube page and subscribe to see all the different videos we have coming down. And then we're also on Instagram and TikTok. I plan to shout these things a little bit later in the programming, but sometimes the mind just wanders there. Let me pull up. I don't need those windows. I need this one, as this one has my agenda. Perfect. I've also been life-wise, like, working in a school is very chaotic, it's very loud, and that needing time after that to decompress. So my work day, the part-time work day, isn't actually 4 hours. I mean, it's technically only 4 hours. I'm only getting paid for 4 hours a day, but I need a little bit of time on the front end to get ready, make sure I'm doing well, etc. And then on the tail end, takes me about an hour and change, depending on how willfully I go into like decompressing. And now that I've noticed that, I can give myself my time. I'm figuring out the strategies that work best, and I'm pushing back meetings till at least 3. And so that's been a nice like change of pace and realization. And then just on top of that, have been stretched thin and haven't had the chance to get more videos out because in one of my volunteer roles, helping put on an event and having to do a venue change and all the different logistics that come with calling up places, seeing if they're available, getting information about their rates and what they can do and what their space looks like. And it's just, it looks like we're going to have a conclusion and a place locked down. But it was not work I was planning and prepared for and thought when I signed up to do this role was going to be on my plate. And so just giving some room for that, because I think we can do a really cool thing, and I am enjoying getting more into event planning. I think being able to bring people together either virtually or in person can just like really have an impact, and that building community and being able to, yeah, so these skills that I was not wanting to put on additional volunteer time, but the positive payoff is cool event and the skills to navigate a crisis or an emergency in event planning and figuring out solutions as you go. Let me just figure out my stream space a little. I want to go here. I feel like that's fine. That should be fine duty. I have chat. Chat's now available. And music. Where's the playlist part? Here we go. Perfect. Alrighty. Cool. So, since took last week off, caught up on some editing. That editing side really is like 5 times more time needed than this side, funny enough, and like I could put maybe more time into my production schedule and go longer than 90 minutes, which is what I typically aim for on these Fridays. But I need to take into account and maybe even plan like a weekend each month to do like video editing catch up, and because there's a lot of cool messages I want to create and put out there and I want to cover, and the more I can be organized, the more I can learn the skill, grow it, the better off I'll be. And so that leads into this week, which for me has been, how has this week been? Started off really well. The short work week was nice. Monday, did an action with Sunrise Movement in the Denver hub, calling on President Biden to declare a climate emergency. It was the group's first action, and it went really well. It beat some of my expectations and came together smoothly. Fun. Can tell it was a newer group to actions. I mean, I guess I've just been hanging out with activists for a long time. But like, to be able to support and watch them get energized, them give speeches, help put this together was really cool. Reminds me that I need to vote in our group messages poll. He. Got some awesome pictures, videos, and I'm excited to see what comes out of that, some of that media. I already saw some of the pictures and I love them. They have so much character and voice. I think I can pull it up even if I log into my Instagram. So that was Monday. Sunrise Movement. And then if I go like then Tuesday, went to, is this Tuesday or Wednesday? I think this is Tuesday. Not that it's that important. Okay. So on Tuesday then, went to a Moms Demand Action meeting for the Douglas County area. For those that don't know, Moms Demand Action, and then there's also a group called Students Demand Action that works on common sense legislation around firearm safety and changes. And so they are building up for a day of advocacy next week. And so got to hear about some of the bills they brought up and hear from some of the speakers and hear stories from people's survival of gun violence events. One person who survived a school shooting, one person who survived getting shot by a stray bullet, and just being in community that's working on some very like common sense and things to provide safety and come at it from a number of angles. And so they have a big advocacy day next Thursday. That was Tuesday. Wednesday, I had some meetings. I had some phone calls about the vet venue. And then last night, Thursday, went and checked out the Colorado Environmental Film Festival, or CEF. I did a video on them, highlighting them, and so this isn't related, but went to their opening night last night. They had free food, free drinks, some movies and vendor booths. I met someone for the second time who gave me this hand-woven bracelet from the Philippines. There was a number of different organizations that have like natural beauty products or vegan food choices that touch on the environmental realm. Solar panel installers. Hung out with some friends, and then watched the movies, a few different movies that they showed that covered animals, to waste, to 11-year-olds producing films that are being seen by thousands of youth in the Philippines. It's like, it's pretty cool. And they had an award ceremony, some good speeches there. The one filmmaker who was there gave a really good speech, who made the film Fracking the System, which is about fracking here in Colorado. And so that's probably, yeah, it was stayed busy. It'll be busy through the weekend, to be honest. I have at least 3 events this weekend, and then a 4th if I add it on, yeah. But I'll be able to sleep in tomorrow, so, I'll get my rest in. I'll get my rest, I'll be bright, I'll be energetic, I'll be able to go to those events, be in community, learn, so I'm pretty excited. What else do we have cooking? I was gonna sit this whole policy talk, but I think I need to stand up just because how tired I am. So I stopped. I need to stand, and I probably need to take some ibuprofen for my headache. Trying to see if I brought my ibuprofen bottle up or if it's in the kitchen. Hoodly. Let's make sure that I can see. Okay. But circling back, we're gonna do some policy conversation. We're gonna do some highlights. We are going to our poll put emphasis on environmental bills, so we will be using our policy tracker, our document. We're going to add some environmental bills section. We are going to look at some and just give me one moment to change my desk up and get some ibuprofen. Okie dokie. For the moment, I shall put him here. He is still in frame. I bet I'll block him though. Typically I stand here. I gotta go like that too. Now if I stand here, I think I can go like this, just a little. Too high? Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Alright, hold on one sec. right. Hold on a sec. Let's play the most chill song I have. I don't know if that's it. Loop the most chill song and take my ibuprofen. And tie my shoe. Motica. And then I realized I haven't really eaten since 3. So I'm eating white bread. And let's pull up. Let's pull up. My bill tracker. So I think since our poll, the environment category 1, we can take a look at some environmental bills that just recently got introduced and try to better understand them. I know that next week I will be going to an environmental lobby day, and with 350 and others, and so I'll get a bunch more information about bills coming through the system and fact sheets. But we can start today with some of our own research and taking a look. Let me finish. Finish eating. I apologize. I forgot to eat. Yeah, I don't need my phone. Okie dokie. How do I like the framing? I'm gonna take the overlay off. And how do I get more space? I need to raise it up a little bit. Raise it up. Sorry for putting you through this stream. You're looking off in the distance. He's going the distance. She's going for speed. Okay, I think I like that perspective better. And then we can I think we're good there, but we can leave it up. Is this not? It's not good. Okay. Live chat, live thing. I don't even know if it's still playing it. Okie dokie, folks. Let's take a look at our legislative tracker for today. We'll start with making a copy of last week's so that we can write new notes and take a look at how some of these bills have changed. Using some of the results of our online poll, No, what? Are you, are you there? Have I been there? Oh no. Oh no. I really hope I don't have to do that again. Why didn't that show up? I think it was on. I just couldn't see it. I have to check. I have to check. Let's go here. Let's go here. Oh ho ho ho. Let's see. Wow. Thanks. All right. Well, I don't know when that happened. So, full disclosure, I mean, if you're watching this VOD later, my microphone was not set up for my picture-in-picture, and I just did 30 minutes of reading policy and talking about policy, at least 30 minutes, with no microphone. Which is my least favorite part about streaming to an audience of nobody, is there's no feedback loop. And I'm over here going, what the heck? Due to an error I've never seen before, where this was, the eyeball was turned off, which I don't know why I would have. I've almost never muted by turning this off. I've almost always muted by pushing this button. And yeah, I don't know. So, what do? I don't want to read those again. I learned the information. Oh, damn. I can just overview them. I guess I'll just overview them and I'll make like a. I read these environmental bills so you don't have to. Let's get into it. I can do that. Fudge. Making mistakes is so exhausting. Lame. I wonder when that happened. Lame. Okay. Alright, rally. Study green infrastructure for water quality management concerning alternative mechanisms for achieving compliance with water quality standards. Administration for Public Health Environment in collaboration with the University Colorado's Martin Center and Global Engineering and Resilience, Colorado Water Institute, located within the Colorado State University, to conduct a feasibility study of the use of green infrastructure, which refers to nature-based watershed-scale water quality management solutions that are an alternative to traditional gray infrastructure, which refers to centralized water treatment facilities and the use of green financing mechanisms for water quality management. So looking at different infrastructure systems for our water system. that are more green, that are less about centralized water treatment facilities. Establish one or more pilot projects in the state to demonstrate the use of green infrastructure, green financing mechanisms, or both. Cool. I love that. Adopt rules establishing a pre-permit baseline data to assist municipalities. When you try to go fast and then your words just shrink. And other water providers to pursue pre-permit solutions for compliance with state and federal water quality standards. And submit a report and present to the Water Resources and Agriculture Review Committee on the progress of the feasibility study and any pilot projects. So yeah, submit a report on what happened. And on any legislative and administrative recommendations that to promote the use of green infrastructure and green financing mechanisms for water quality management in the state. Okay, I'm on board. Two guys in cowboy hats, Karen McCormick, Mike. I was gonna say two guys in hats in climate and cowboy hats plus Karen McCormick and Jeff Bridges. But the two guys in cowboy hats are Mike Lynch and Cleve Simpson. I like it. Let's learn. Let's put some pilots in place. Let's get things moving. This one, precipitation harvesting, storm water detention. Concerning allowing certain facilities to use water detained in a storm water detention. Is that like a type of building? Or what? An infiltration detention in an infiltration facility. So it's a rainwater collection facility. For precipitation harvesting. What? Under current law, an entity that owns, operates, or has oversight over a storm water detention and infiltration facility is not allowed to divert, store, or otherwise use water detained in the facility. For facilities that are also approved for use as a precipitation harvesting facility, either through a substitute water supply plan or an augmentation plan, the bill authorizes the use of water detained in the facility for precipitation harvesting. Okay. I think what's happening here is, I mean, it reads like there can be built a place that helps collect water, but if you do that, you can't really use that water, and this would allow some of those facilities, if they have a type of plan, them to use it. And knowing Kevin Van Winkle's background, works with a lot of marijuana companies and lobby groups, and so my thinking here is that those companies want to create facilities that help collect water so they can use it in their grows. That is what I would think. Or there are some people who are wanting to get on the forefront of water being an issue, and this would allow buildings that collect and store water in detention, store water in detention. I don't know if that's why it's actually called detention. So yeah, I don't know exactly what this is trying to do or who this is for, but interesting. And then we have our air quality bills. So I've already talked about these. I've already read these. Microphone was not on. So we are going to do a quick summary of 3 different air quality bills going through the Colorado legislature right now. These have a lot to do with reducing pollution, ozone issues, leading the way in what could be a good balance in transition that helps support the health of people, as well as making the changes, like the health right now and the long-term health of our cities and planet. These are more focused on procedural things, but I'm going to walk you through these 3 bills in relatively quick fashion. This first one is air quality permitting, concerning modifications of processes to obtain permits for activities that impact air quality. So, in section 1 here, there is a division that helps evaluate permits, aggregate emissions, and the emissions created, and it requires a division to do these studies. In evaluating a permit application for an emitting source that includes an oil and gas system, an aggregate emissions from the system, and include emissions from exploration and pre-production activities. So section 1 helps us better understand the emissions that go into a full oil and gas system. Section 2 requires that the division or the commission only grants permits for certain proposed sources in a non-attainment area if, and then it lists these different things, which is helping or hurting air quality, and that you are showcasing that you are not bringing additional pollution or issues that are from the current plan, and that it's not disproportionately impacting certain communities. All right, this next part is that you have to look at the full kind of time scales. And then section 3 requires the Energy and Carbon Management Commission to require that an oil and gas operator obtain a permit from the division or commission before making a final determination on an oil or gas permit. So there's just a bit more checks and balances and information gathering that go into the permitting system, whereas right now we're in a system where permits pretty easily and very rarely get denied, and it has allowed a lot of oil and gas infrastructure just come in, and so this would help us better understand the impacts of that and allow more control points for these permits. The second air quality improvements bill, concerning measures to reduce emissions of air pollutants that negatively impact air quality. Okay, so, I already did this. I did this. Okay, I don't want to do it again. Maybe I'll just like summarize it and put it in a video. Let me take a look at when these bills are going to committee. Let me look at there. Because then I can do these next week and write summaries which, yeah, I will like more. I don't want to go through this thing again right now. Introduced in Senate as joined to transportation and energy. If I go to transportation and energy, does it give me a schedule? Let's see. What's coming up for this committee? Motor vehicle, municipal solid waste, front range passenger rail district efficiency. Color me curious. So it doesn't even look like it's, let's see, scheduled. Doesn't even look like it's scheduled yet. Or they might sneak it in into the schedule somewhere else. So you never really know. I doubt it'll be moved before Friday. Okay. Damn. And for kicks and giggles, 1 through 18. One through 118, 5. This is interesting. All right, America 250, Colorado 150, cash fund. Concerning creation of this cash fund. Joint Budget Committee of the America 250 Commission was created in history, Colorado, to develop programs and plans for the official observance across Colorado of the semi-quincentennial anniversary of the founding of the United States. Semi-quincentennial. It's like 250? I don't know. Anniversary of the founding of the United States as marked by the Declaration of Independence in 1776 and the sesquicentennial anniversary of Colorado statehood, now to be known as the anniversaries. The Commission's powers and duties include marketing to support commemorative events and involvement in local opportunities for public discussion, commemorative events, and historical and educational activities regarding the anniversaries. The bill creates a temporary cash fund that is continuously appropriated to the Commission through History Colorado for earned revenue received from sale of items commemorating the anniversaries. The Commission will use money from the fund to provide grants to local communities to assist recipient communities, providing local opportunities in connection with current anniversaries. It must provide an annual report to the joint budget about the grants. Money from the fund may also be used by the Commission to administer, implement, and effectuate community grants. So, America is turning 250, Colorado's turning 150. There's gonna be some swag, some merch, some different things sold, which will go into a fund, which will go towards grants to provide opportunities in connection with the anniversaries. That's interesting. It's cool that America and Colorado's are on a similar 1776 and 1876. I have never heard of these words before. Semi-quincentennial and sesquicentennial. Okay, I mean, if the money's not really coming from the people, these are dates. Yeah, I mean, learning about your history is important, and I like that part about grants. I don't know if I would like buy a hat that's like Colorado 150. Maybe if it said Colorado sesquicentennial, or it's like sesquicentennial with a Colorado flag. I don't know. But that's that. Our random number generator wanted us to look at that bill, so we did. All right. I guess some days you live, some days you learn. I am sad that I had that setting messed up. I apologize. Sometimes you make mistakes and you gotta keep pressing on. I'm not 100% today. I'll just call it as it is. My sinuses are getting better. My sleep's getting better, even if last night I was up late. Working on catching up on some life stuff, some change making. Yeah, I'm super bummed I didn't have that audio. I did great. I showed a social media post, I looked at the bills, I learned alongside you. The only thing I can promise is that I'm trying my best. Continue to try my best. Go into next week. Cover these bills. I could read them again. Should I read them again? I don't want to. It hurts my brain. It hurts my brain. Okay. Freaking fracks. I'm gonna do it. Get some water in me. I'm gonna do the whole segment. We're gonna do it. We're going live. Oh, we are live. Okay. I don't have the post up anymore. Let's go here. Liked your reel. Thanks, guys. This is the post. Hey, it's on the post. All right. I'm not an officially 350 person, so we'll keep. I will present myself as I am a 350 person. I got the second time. We're gonna nail it. We're going to nail it. Ready? Begin. All right, y'all. This week we're doing an emphasis on some environmental bills. Just talked about some water related ones, and now gonna get into air quality. Now, air, I mean, it's important. It's what we breathe. It determines, in some ways, the long term path of our society and humanity. But on a smaller scale, air quality has a lot of impacts into people's health, local pollution, and we're seeing more and more that as oil and gas industry fights change of any kind, that only because there's more media and attention on these issues that we're starting to make progress. Now, in Colorado, I like to consider us a leader. We are willing to push forward to fight for different aspects of change. There's a lot of people involved in our climate and political system where we can be trendsetters in our communities, but also for other places across the US and maybe even the world. Brings me to, we're going to switch over to talk about this air pollution set of bills that they had a press conference on that was introduced this week. It's a jam-packed press conference room there. And moving to these bills about air quality. And I have the 3 different bills, but overview of them by CPR News is Bill 1, proposal aims at companies that repeatedly violate state air quality standards. A top target is Suncor Energy, a Canadian oil and gas company operating the state's only oil and gas refinery. This facility reports dozens of instances yearly where it's released more pollution than is allowed under a state air quality permit. Tougher air quality permitting, overhauling the state's process for permitting new sources of air pollution, giving more authority to air regulators before the state can issue standard oil and gas permits. It focuses on oil and gas drilling, which accounts for the largest share of smog-forming pollution along the Front Range. And number 3, new air quality regulations. Specific rules to cut releases of ozone ingredients along the Front Range. One provision covers the early oil and gas production process, including drilling and hydraulic fracturing. Those activities are typically powered by internal combustion engines, which pump out large amounts of smog-forming gases. Under the new bill, those activities would no longer be allowed along the Front Range during the summer ozone season unless they are powered by all-electric equipment. So, we're going to do a deeper dive into some of these bills. This one I looked at already twice. And then I'm missing one of the air quality bills. Let's go here, find the bill. Oop. Actually, let's go here. What about air? Air? Environment? Energy? Apply? I'm going to say it was air, wasn't it? The bills. It was... Was it under public health? No, I want to say it was natural resources and environment. I saw it over here. Okay, air quality enforcement, air quality improvements. This is the one I needed. Okay. Okie dokie. That one, and then that's the one I looked at. Okay. And then we can throw my overlay back up. Cool. All right. Let's go through Air Quality Improvements SB 24-165 concerning measures to reduce emissions of air pollutants that negatively impact air quality. So, this bill requires Air Quality Control Commission, and this Department of Public Health and Environment to adopt by rule certain emission standards and requirements for in-use off-road diesel-fueled fleets. This also requires by 2025, December, rules for controlling emissions from facilities, buildings, structures, installations, or real property that generates mobile source activity that results in emissions of air pollutants within the 8-hour ozone Denver Metro North Front Range non-attainment area. The rules must include emission reduction targets for indirect sources to achieve and process for the Division of Administration and Department of Review alternative approaches proposed by an owner or operator of an indirect source. The Commission may establish a fee for indirect sources within the covered non-attainment area to cover the division's cost and implementing rules. So it's broadening out what is considered pollutants and giving dates for changes that need to happen to improve air quality. Bill defines an ozone season beginning May and ending September, and beginning in the 2025 season and after, pre-production activity within the covered area, this is like the pollution area, must pause for the duration of the ozone season. Pre-production activity. So even the parts about starting a well, or if it involves bringing oil and gas and burning fuels and working to pump out more oil and gas, that there is a certain period of time that they, when there's already so many pollutants out and about, need to stop. Oil and gas operator in the state is required to submit oil and gas annual emission inventory report to the division that includes, for the previous calendar year, the emissions of certain air pollutants from oil and gas operations under the control of oil and gas operator. So now it's adding in that these operators need to file a report about the types of emissions that are coming off their spots. This is known as an inventory report. And something that surprised me is we don't already require oil and gas operators or polluters sometimes to file reports so that we have data and that we have to fight to get this data from them. For October 1st thereafter, the division must prepare a report regarding the inventory reports. So state level report on oil and gas reporters. And then in November, before the next ozone season, for the ozone season of the next year, an oil and gas report operator that controls oil and gas operations in the covered non-attainment area must submit a report to the division estimating emissions of nitrogen oxides from the oil and gas. So additional reports from companies if you're in a certain zone of higher pollution. And so it would also determine an ozone season budget for the emissions of nitrogen oxides from this oil and gas industry and operations in the area, which must set certain maximum average emission levels for the operations. So setting a budget so that we are controlling our air quality by saying certain companies can't, as fast as they can, it sets goals. They have to either clean up their operations so they're not polluting as much through what they're doing, or they have to move slower. And that's good because air quality is about giving our planet some space to breathe, giving areas chance for the air to move around, and ultimately we need to lessen how much we're putting different particles into the air that are affecting people's health or speeding up climate change. And so this is something that starts that process. Nitrogen oxide report. And then eliminating of nitrous oxides in a manner that prevents an exceedance of the current year's budget. The bill also requires the Department of Transportation to establish vehicle miles traveled to reduction targets for the covered non-attainment area and to develop policies and programs to assist applicable metropolitan planning organization in meeting the targets. Cool. This was prime sponsored by Kevin Priola, Lisa Cutter, Manny Rutinel, and Lorena Garcia. Which brings us to air quality enforcement. A little bit, it's about the same length. So, Section 1 defines repeat violator as a person that, in a 3-year period, has committed 5 or more violations of a certain air quality law. It also defines a high priority repeat violator as someone that over 3 years has committed 5 or more exceedances of the allowable emissions of an air pollutant. Section 2 requires the division of administration in the Department of Public Health and Environment. In the case of a violation by a repeat violator, to issue an order of compliance for the violation instead of issuing a warning letter or compliance advisory or taking another informal action. So it's not just a warning, there is an order now for those breaking set limits and laws. The order must assess civil penalties in the case of high priority repeat violators, must require them to conduct and submit to the division a root cause analysis for the violation, which must be submitted to the division within 90 days after the order. So, for example, Suncor. Last year, there was a fire. There was something happening there. There was colors of different smoke and different pollutants that went out. They had to even turn off aspects of Suncor for a while. That, even though that affects the nearby community, that doesn't necessarily know or mean that we get to know what happened at the facility. And so they can claim whatever they want. It's just a small breakdown that they had to get fixed and there's no issue. This determines they can't just get away with that if they're been having issues for over 3 years, a high priority repeat violator, and must then file a report on exactly what happened. Okay. From must require reduction in emissions of any air pollutant. Okay, in connection with an order, and in the case of high priority, from any emission or the universe. That's what I just read, right? Yeah. So there's a what? I have a headache. The division must require reduction in emissions of any air pollutant applicable to an emission exceedance from any emission unit where a violation occurred in accordance. Yeah, don't break the law. Section 2 also clarifies that the division may assess civil penalties for air quality violations without instituting an action in district court. Allows a person with respect to air quality laws to commence a civil action against a violator. A person shall not commence an action until at least 60 days after a notice has been provided to the Executive Director of the Department of Public Health and Environment, the Director of the Division, and the alleged violator. Except for violations of an ongoing or recurring nature, any action that is not connected within 5 years after discovery of the alleged violation is time barred. Some rules around civil stuff. Section 2 also requires the division on or before February 1st, 2025, and on and before each February thereafter to prepare and post on the division's website an air quality enforcement report, which must contain certain air quality enforcement information from the previous calendar year. I love that. So there's a report about who's breaking the law, what's being enforced, public information, positive. And then Section 3, in the case of a repeat violator, the division or district court assesses a civil penalty that is at least 50% of the maximum state penalty, civil penalty. And if you are a violator in a disproportionately impacted community, it can go higher. That is at least 75% of the maximum civil penalty applicable to the violation. It requires owners and operators of stationary sources to submit any reports or records that the owner or operator is required to create, maintain, or submit pursuant to federal or state laws. The division must make any reports or records received available on the division's website within 30 days after receipt. So there's it's more public information. And then the current law provides that a person that violates the local government's air quality regulations is subject to a maximum civil penalty of $300. Look at us getting those billion-dollar companies. No, that's why we're changing it, right? Section 5 raises the maximum civil penalty to the amount provided by state air quality laws. So if the government can go after them for a breach to X amount, it's now civil laws can match the state air quality laws. Section 6 requires a district court in a suit against a person that has violated a state law to relate to energy and carbon management to award the initial complaining party any cost of litigation incurred by the initial complaining party if the court determines that the award is appropriate. Current laws exempts damage awards from the state constitutional definition of fiscal year spending, which counts towards the state's annual spending limit pursuant to state constitutional law. Section 7 adds civil penalties assessed by state agency to the statutory definition of damage awards. So the big thing I'm seeing on this one is everyday people, and now that with the more information and reports this will be generating, if there is an issue, they can file a civil penalty, a lawsuit against an oil and gas or a pollutant or a polluter. And rather than it being capped at $300, which also they didn't have to cover your legal fees, so you're going to get brought into a drawn out legal battle and put in way over $300 to get $300 back. Now you can get more back for the damages, but they can't just draw you out into a prolonged legal battle, because if the court says that you are in the right, they can say that the polluter has to also give the civil penalty plus cover legal costs. So this is big for the information and ability to enforce polluters, and especially repeat and high priority repeat violators. Cool. I've done the thing. I've done that twice now. And I'm hungry. So we're gonna vlog off. I didn't get to my mom's demand ones. Maybe I will record again tomorrow. I have some time. I'm not feeling 100% to be honest, so I think as long as I create some stuff before Thursday, then I can like share it to them through social media. Anywho, we're ending the stream. Thank you. I'm sassy. I'm in a sassy mood. Thank you for watching Policy Angles. This is a live show with Braden Miguel, where we cover Colorado policy and positive impact changes. I will be seeing y'all next Friday with more stories, more policy deep dives, and 100% working audio. Those are my goals. I hope you have a great, beautiful weekend. See you around. End stream. End stream. End stream.